Hi there, welcome to Prime Time. I'm Paul Orford. I'm back with Daniel from the Splendid agency, and today what we're looking to do is marketing. Now for me, an outsider, I think a lot of it is
just say it.
BS. All right, so what we're looking to cover today is marketing through the noise. Okay, again, so Daniel, really highly knowledgeable person in this field, so I thought I'd get him to have a quick chat and he can outline what's, pushing through the noise, which I'm sure there's a lot of screaming out there going on.
Oh my word, it's screaming indeed. I'll define, this is a great question, and it does apply both to marketers in their discipline, in their day-to-day job, but it also applies to what marketers do, that is the messages they send out. It's kind of twofold. So noise for marketers and noise by marketers, right? Noise for marketers is very simple. I can define it as, and I'm sure a lot of marketers are watching this, it's we are bombarded, like literally as marketers, we are bombarded, we are with information and with everything else, like new marketing tools that you can hook up, integrations that you can do, your chatbots, your chatbots in your messengers, you've got your different email platforms, you've got all these different tools that you use to aggregate data, and every single day something new is coming up and some new technique, and this is a secret formula to sell and to blah 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 blah. Marketers, again, take it easy, take a step back, all right? You will fry your brain if you just chase and start chasing in the usage of all these things out there, whether it's tools or techniques or whatever. Do your research, take a deep breath, do your research, see what works best for you, all right? And every single one of these tools is nothing more than a very simple thing. It's a tool or a channel to deliver a message, right? That's what it is. That's all they are. That's all they are, to deliver a message and gather feedback, right? And you can do that from just asking a question. Going out on the street and making a questionnaire is a traditional way of doing it. Now you've got digital ways of doing it, right? So what I have to say for marketers, because it can be absolutely daunting and overwhelming and confusing with all these new things coming out there, with this massive information. I mean, I'm a person that remembers, I lived through the time when we were screaming like, "Mom, put the phone down, I'm on the internet." We had dial-up, we had all these different things. I remember the first time I put my little modem on and ventured into this new thing called the internet. It was like an epiphany, the moments. It's like, liberation, But nowadays, it's more, it's crazy. It's literally, you are being bombarded as a profession from so much noise out there. And it's not that you don't need this, it's not that all these tools are not necessary, etc., but don't get overwhelmed. This is what my advice to you. Don't get overwhelmed. There's there's tools that you can use to make your job, and you can make your job and keep it simple. Honestly, just keep it simple. You're marketing to people. All you need to do is ask the right questions to the right people through the appropriate channels. Now, that takes me to the second part of the noise, which is the noise that marketers create. All right, and when you're venturing out now on any web space, well, it might be social media, it might be just generally a regular Google search, or you're into some news platform website or some other website, etc. You just get bombarded by these masses of messages, and created by marketers. All right, or generally people who are trying to market. Now, 9 out of 10 times, it's just me, buy from me, me. Okay, that is just, I always love to give the seeing a pretty person in a bar type of example. So when you're marketing like that, it's literally like you've walked into a bar, you're single, single, ready to mingle. You see a nice, interesting person, you just walk up to them, say, "Hi, I'm Daniel, want to marry me?" Right? several things can happen. One, you can get a polite no. Second thing, you might be sued for harassment. Third thing, well, husband and boyfriend might pop up and just bash your head in. All right. So husband and boyfriend might be regulation, might be a bigger competitor that you just messed with, a very important client of theirs. Harassment might be a customer that lashes out at you in social media and tells you, leave me alone, bugger off. So what just happened there? You just went to give a message to the wrong audience at the wrong time in the wrong way. Why? Simple. Because you were targeting all over the place, right? You didn't do your research, you didn't take the time to do your research, and you didn't take the time to ask the right questions to the right people to determine not what message, but what possible messages might work. And you can test those messages, right? So when you walk up to that person in the bar, you might actually be holding a freebie, like a free drink, just to break the ice. And that person, if you've done your research, would be receptive to that. And you can engage in honest conversation and gain trust. How do you gain trust online? You provide information of value to the recipient audience, and that information can be free. You don't need to charge anything for that, and a lot of people are actually doing that, and that's extremely important. Why would you trust a brand? Why would you trust outside on the street? Why would you trust a person just walking up to you if, one, you don't know them, you don't trust them, you don't know what they're on about? I mean, it's the same thing online. Why should I trust you because you're selling a particular service, or you're providing a particular service, or you're selling a particular product, and I know nothing about you? I have no idea how that thing is important for me. I have a feeling that it might be, but I'm not too sure, and I don't know who you are in the first place, and I don't even know how you found me in the first place. How did you bump into me in the first place? That it's the trust factor, and again, it stems to something that we said last time as well, which is human nature. And to break through that noise, all right, just do your research and go and ask the right questions to the right people, and trust me, through the right channels. And you don't have to be everywhere on the internet. You don't have to be on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok. You don't have to. And it doesn't mean if your clients are on Facebook, they're actually on Facebook to buy something or get engaged with something. They might use LinkedIn for that, right? They might use Facebook for the personal matters. So you have to understand that, right? You really have to understand that. And how do you understand that? Take the time, put in the time, put in the hours, ask the right questions, all right, and treat them as human beings.
So do you think that a lot of marketeers bend to peer pressure, like you say, this hot new gimmick, and they should just stick with the tried and tested methods?
My definite yes over there. I think also because of the way that technology is evolving, and it's always, from now on, it's always going to be a catch up with technology, right? And I love I'm a geek. I absolutely adore technology, but I do have this feeling that marketeers a lot of them have kind of taken their eyes off the ball, right? And they do bend over to peer pressure, and I'd like to think, because I'm an optimist, I would like to think that it's not deliberate peer pressure. I think even in the entrepreneurs themselves that might be employing these marketers, they themselves might be so overwhelmed by this massive, what my competitor is doing. Oh, look, my competitor did this. Oh, look, what my competitor did that. Oh, look, they've brought this brand new tool. It says that it can increase my conversion by 30% and blah, 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 and all that. That is the real BS. Going back to the initial statement, that it's not marketing, but it's that confusion, that frustration, that overwhelming feeling that, again, stemming down from human nature, that you know, especially if you're a startup, especially if you, with so much uncertainty there, you get this overwhelming feeling that you're not as fast as everybody else, you're not as good as everybody else, and that is absolutely wrong. What you should do is stop, look at your service and product, look at your segments and your users, ask them, especially if you have users. If you're a startup and you have some users, first thing you should do is ask those users questions. See if what you're providing, see if there's any gaps of expectations, of understanding, of mainly expectations in what you're providing, what you promise, what you provide to the user, and get feedback from them. Your users are the most important people. They're part of your tribe. You shouldn't be running and lashing off to find new tribes. You should be building on your own tribe of people.
Now, going back to your point about being everywhere, okay, I think that kind of comes down to human nature as well. It's the nature of fear. You know, the fear that I'm going to miss out on this, and fear I'm going to, and you just completely spread yourself so thin, so inadequately everywhere, that you're not even getting your message out there. You know, so if you consolidate and focus on one area, like you just addressed, makes it so much easier in getting your message across.
Yeah, I know. Question, back at you. Can we name names, businesses?
Yeah, if you like.
All right.
As long as don't sue me.
All right. My question to you.
Well, you're asking the question.
Do you eat burgers?
Yeah.
Do you like burgers?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What's your best burger here in town?
You know, that's a good question. What about saying restaurants? Is that easier, or would you go burgers? My favourite one would be where I shoot a lot is Noah. You know, Famagusta Sailing Club, because it's nice, relaxed.
What do you eat there normally?
Pasta's very nice.
Pasta.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that example would be all right. So why don't you just go and have a pasta at a Pizza Hut?
Well, that's a good point.
That's everywhere.
Yeah, but I know for Pizza Hut, okay, it's the food quality isn't what I really want going into my body. It's processed and rubbish and like that. I'm buying the whole experience of when I go to a restaurant, you know.
Again, pasta or burgers. I have a particular burger joint that I like. It's in Nicosia, right? Why don't I go to McDonald's? It's everywhere. Yeah. As we said, it's everywhere, right? It's like it's spreading thin that you said, being everywhere. Why do people get in the car, go out of the way, put some extra time in it to go to a particular place to have a particular thing, right? When they can get that thing by a mass provider everywhere, by a social media platform. Why not? I send out the message on all the McDonald's, on all the social media platforms, right? So I think that kind of answers the question. You just go to the place that you want to be associated with, or your brand wants to be associated with that particular clientele, that particular tribe of people. That's all you need.
So, to use that logic, and I might be completely wrong here, if, for example, I wanted to market, I was a startup, for example, and I wanted to market to a high-end clientele, so it's a very small percentage, it's a very small niche, would I advertise in the same places as established high-end brands to try and hopefully get some of that flow of eyes upon my product?
Very simple answer to that question. If your research shows, and if you've asked the questions to that audience, and it shows that that audience does hang out in those establishments, then you go and you approach them with the right message, having first initially asked the right questions, with the right messages, because I always said that I like to test messages. You can say hi, you can say hello. It means the same thing, but it's a different. We say hey, it's different. So if they do your research, it always comes down to your research, right? And if they hang out there, yes. If not, maybe you can create your own meeting ground for them, right? And bring people in. And the Your Meeting Ground just provides something new for this high-end clientele that they can associate with, right? So there, you might not be using existing channels, you might be using a whole new one. Facebook, when it first opened up, brand new channel. Then Instagram developed because there was a need for the similar type of segment, but there was a different need that it needed to address. So Instagram opened up that. LinkedIn, same thing. What are all these things? The social media platforms, right? There's the social platforms, but they targeted a different behavior of people and different expectations of people, right? But you're probably on Facebook, I'm on Facebook, I'm also on LinkedIn, you're on LinkedIn, you're probably on Instagram as well. Why? Because it serves some different need, and it serves also a different form of messaging that comes through or is presented through that platform or restaurant or whatever. So again, I like to keep things simple and to stay sane through the noise. Go back to the basic things, and the basic things stem down from human nature. You can use all the marketing techniques that you've mastered in those 1 week crash courses, boot camps, whatever they call them, and whatever. Trust me, I've done my share of you. I've found a lot of them very helpful and interesting, and and at the same time though, a lot of these things are overwhelming and confusing. Simplified, people. It's basic human nature. It's just engaging with people, asking questions. What we're doing right now, right? And it's the only difference is you're doing it digitally. You're doing it through a digital channel. In our case, all right. There's other people who do it the traditional way, but that's all the difference. It is. That's all the difference out there. And technology has evolved dramatically over the past, I'd say, 5 years, let alone when it was dial-up internet back in the 90s. Humans have not evolved that fast. All right, we're not androids all of a sudden, and we're hooked up to the net, and the net is doing our thinking and our decision making for us. We're not connected to a central brain system somewhere. That we're just humans, right? Humans haven't evolved much in thousands and thousands of years, right? Like physically.
Yeah.
Right. What has evolved is the tools and the toys that humans use, right? And so at the end of the day, you're trying to talk and target. Well, I hate the word target. You're trying to talk and engage with humans, right? Do it in a logical, humane way. Marketing is nothing more than the science that brings all these different research and meanings together in a meaningful message delivered by appropriate channels. That's all it is.
Yeah. All right, baby, let's wrap it up there. Daniel, what's the best way for people to get hold of you?
Best way to get hold of us, www.splendid.agency. We're there, have a look around, and we're always up for a good cup of coffee and a chit chat.
All right, also I'll link Daniel's name and also the agency if you're watching this on LinkedIn, so you can just click through there and go direct. Seriously, it's worth a coffee with a guy just to pick his brains. All right, cheers, my man.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone. See ya. Bye.